So, who has the Leslie Smith underdog pick? Who was the Mexican dude and the lesbian chick? Everybody say you mean Lesbo and The Bean. Who's that out there living they dream? Lesbo and The Bean. Who's that still smoking all the green? Lesbo and The Bean. Come on y'all, let me hear you scream. Lesbo and The Bean.
Welcome back. Lesbo and The Bean, back in the house. We got another show, episode 89, feeling fine. We're going to have another good one. How you been as of late? There's been a ton of breaking news, and I feel like there's some fun things that we got to go over before we get into our Sunday breakdown.
I have been doing tedious. I feel like I'm a sand in an hourglass, dripping, waiting for 223 still. It doesn't feel any closer than last time.
I would agree, and I've already had two fake, maybe one solid fake news source that I feel like I definitely sent you that
we
had me
each other now.
Shit in my pants. That Habib had been knocked out by Zab Judah, but this was prior to their first Tony Ferguson encounter. Someone re-brought up the fake news of back then and totally got me. I was, shit myself for a bit there. But fight's still on. Barely.
I know, we gotta pray to the Saint Mac Malley to keep the fight on. Give a little shout out on Twitter. Follow Mac Malley, he's a good one.
Also, if I gotta say, give us a like on Twitter and or subscribe wherever you follow us on YouTube as well.
Yeah, we're doing a little bit. Our YouTube's getting better.
I would agree.
Our content's getting a little better. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's not the same as it used to be with just the audio. It's us sometimes sitting here in the cabin studio, the log cabin, or sometimes we're working on it. We're getting better. We're no young Jamie. We're not that powerful yet.
Right. We're getting there.
Speaking of powerful, did you see Joe Rogan's leg kicks?
Yes, I did, and I'm like, thanks a lot, Joe Rogan. Take everything you can away from the fighters, Joe Rogan. Let somebody else, anybody else that's a hard kicker in there.
You have to be good at everything, Joe Rogan.
Right?
You're so powerful, Joe Rogan.
Powerful Joe Rogan.
But the other thing that was pissing me off about it was everybody putting Joe Rogan blew Ngannou's punching record on the machine.
With a kick!
And I don't want to say I think I could too, but I really do think I could too. I think I could beat Ngannou's punching record with a kick. I would put it a little lower than Joe Rogan. I would go for like a shin kick. I think I could get my best because I played soccer for a long time. So I think getting that run-up style kick. But I know I can kick harder than Ngannou punches.
I would say it's more impressive to me.
You hear that, Ngannou?
Coming at you.
Lesbo versus Ngannou.
I'm impressed that Ngannou has the type of punching power of somebody's legs. How about that? Because for somebody to have that type of upper body, that's why heavyweights can knock each other out with jabs and other people can't. But yeah, a lot kick it.
Yeah, like Andre Arlovski kick.
Exactly. That's even harder than anything anyone lower than him can be throwing, just because of the sheer size of it all.
Oh, why can't Steven Struve throw more of those kick?
Because he's gangly. Volkov might be able to generate that type of power because he's proportionate.
You know who needs to work in kicks into their game? Ozdemir. And he will be kicks with a little... Well, you know, he had decent takedown defense against DC. It is DC.
It's DC. Exactly.
Who's Ozdemir fighting next?
Shogun!
Is that how you feel about that?
Ozdemir all day. It's just, you gotta fade Shogun, unfortunately. I love Shogun. Been following him since I knew about MMA, and I've thought he had to step away years now.
I think he's handsome.
He was getting modeling contracts long ago in Brazil.
Shogun look people a little just like Kane, or am I being racist?
Yes, they are. But I feel like Shogun is a more handsome by far. Yeah, by far.
DC wouldn't think so. This is the other thing that I just realized. So we talked about Rafael against Colby and their fight coming up. It's taking place in Brazil.
Yeah. Well, so it's not official yet. There's been a lot of rumors because they've been talking about it, but apparently the UFC has not officially dated where they're going to fight because they don't know if they can have the security for Colby, which to me makes absolute sense.
I think they should go to Brazil.
Not with Colby. Make it in Florida. Mini Brazil.
Or make it in Mexico. Like, they can make it in another country. Like, it just doesn't, it would not be wise. It doesn't seem wise for him, even in the win. How did he get him out of there? That is like, no. He won't make it out alive. I would bet money on Bovada that Colby didn't make it out of Brazil alive.
It wouldn't even be funny. That's a good prop bet. Bovada, you listening? Put that prop up. Make it. One man goes in, no one comes out. Yeah. So, other correction real quick. Your boy, Therido, is actually already come out on Twitter and said that he is no longer going to wear the vest. First, the correction that they're making after the first appearance.
Love it!
No
Love
vest.
it!
He
Elias.
So apparently the Twitterverse as well as Shannon Knapp must be following Lesbo and The Bean because, she likes them lady fighters.
I love it.
So,
apparently we're not the only people that, because I saw a lot of dudes even coming out that they were like, Elias, if you're going to be the one doing this though, you need to fucking wear a little something skimpier. Even the dudes, straight
I agree.
We're saying the same
I say Speedo too. Those girls got shorty shorts, but it's not even to humiliate Theodoro.
No, it's just
to the lady fans.
To the lady fans.
It's to the lady fans. It's the same as the ladies are for the guy fans. That's why they wear cleavage.
And maybe for the lesbian fans, if they're into that sort of thing.
If they are. There's a couple around MMA if you ever been in this field before. So, definitely MMA evolving all sorts of train of thought all over the place. Other correction, Antonia Baby Chev is actually Big Girl Chev.
Times with all these corrections. We could have put it on the back page.
We could have. We're hitting it early in the face. That Antonia is actually the older sister by 33 years old. Overskip my mind. I just feel like Chev is such a veteran in MMA that I'm so familiar with her. Yeah. I assumed, and I feel like I knew that, and we got a lot to talk about. So, thanks for the correction. We keep working on it.
Yeah, get a little better. And I can't believe we didn't know that about Shevchenko because we tend to know almost everything about her.
Well,
so
we got so much with...
I can't wait to keep learning more. It just makes her my Valentine that much more. And is it Pantera? Is that Antonia's name? Antonia Shevchenko? Is she the Panther or Pantera?
Same.
Is it the
same?
Same.
Different,
same,
but same. Say, who else has the same name?
Same name.
Same name is Yair Pantera. Yair Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So, it tends to happen. And names evolve. People change. Other fights that have been booked that we're just going to get to right into is Gunnar Nelson versus Neil Magny. The 170 division, again, being all sorts of talks walking around. UFC all of a sudden is like, hey, guess what? We have a really good division and no fights going on. Let's get to it. I really like that they're profiling the 170 division as well, because most of these fights they're the top contenders. They're in the main cards or main events, or they're accents to the main events. And this is a fun one. Off the top of the head, who you got in this? I think this is a sneaky underdog. I think I got a sneaky underdog here.
I got Gunnar Nelson in this fight.
I got Neil Magny. Time to make some money. Bet Ponzinibbio against Gunnar Nelson as well. See how that came out. It's all in the takedown defense. You think
Magny has good takedown defense?
I would agree. Not that he does have good takedown defense, but Gunnar Nelson doesn't have good takedowns.
In my opinion, I think Ponzinibbio is better than Magny at this point.
I would agree with that, but I think the level of Neil Magny still has the ability to beat Gunnar Nelson, and a lot of people are going to be betting against that. And
you don't think Magny's the bigger guy on the card? Like, you don't think he'll be the favorite?
No,
I think Gunnar Nelson would be the good underdog on that.
No, I think Gunnar Nelson, all that SBG team gets that hype. Remember that.
I don't think the bet makers even pay attention. I don't think anyone from there, I
think social media does. I think it does. That's why you get...
Neil Magny's name's higher on the poster.
Ooh, he is a longer...
I think he'll be walking in last, probably blue corner.
I would agree. Is he the higher ranked opponent though? Who's the higher guy right there?
Can we look up these Bovada odds?
I don't think they're out for Neil Magny yet because that was just announced. But it is the... Oh, it doesn't give me the
Well, I'll tell you about a fight and see why you look it up, because I know you're going to be so excited about this. You know I am.
Oh, I know.
Jessica Rose Clark versus Jessica I.
Oh, Jess, you better fucking come through, girl.
You better, Jess.
You come on, you know the way we're coming with this. You know that Evil Eye ain't gonna hear shit because she blocked your boy and your girl here.
Yeah, we can't even talk to Evil Eye. We couldn't even wish her luck if we wanted to.
I really like that at a point in time Evil Eye gave us even a listen, because that means you're listening. Yeah. But apparently you ain't listening anymore. And
she's probably still listening, seething and listening.
That's life. You're gonna make friends and enemies along the way, and hopefully your friends are stronger. So Jess, it's been making an if showing though. I don't want to put too much stock into her because she beat PVZ with a broken arm. And she couldn't get her out of there. So, and that was a gnarly break. That was like, PVZ really actually showed her toughness there.
Oh my gosh, I have to read this to you.
Please.
Dave Madden tweeted out, if Ronda Rousey wanted to appear on my podcast, I wouldn't ask her anything related to UFC, nor would she even have to talk. She can simply blink once for yes and twice for no, since her head movement is so bad and she can't answer with nods or shakes. Head movement. So, I am not a Ronda hater at all, but that was funny shit.
Oh, really? So that goes perfectly into the next topic with Ronda's gross interview.
Jess and Jessica I. Moving
on to the real news.
Let's talk about poor Jessica I is still living in Ronda's shadow. At least here on Jessica or Lesbo and The Bean.
So Ronda Rousey had a disgusting interview that hopefully is going to be broken down by your boy Alpaca Thesaurus, the newt himself. Was going over some Twitter talk with him because she ended up going to some sports show to talk about WWE, and the host, the podcast, or whatever you want to call the guy, gave the most ridiculous question you could, and he worded it very badly, but Ronda Rousey was also just, see you next Tuesday, girl, because she could have just been like, I know what you're meaning, but she was like, I don't know how to time travel because I'm not that cool. And so, 9-year-old, she was such a little kid. Oh, really? I
didn't mind it at all.
I thought it, but also I'm thinking, is she playing me right now? This is what wrestlers do, right? This is what wrestlers do.
When has Ronda ever been different?
Yeah, agreed.
The only time we ever saw a different Ronda was on Ellen's couch, when she's doing live with Regis and Kelly, because they don't talk about any, like they have backstage interviews where they get to go over the exact questions they're allowed to ask her out there, and that's the difference of those shows. All these things, they really only still give a shit because they're a sports show, most of them having Ronda on. They only want to talk about her UFC career, whereas Ronda, for all intents and purposes, she wants to move past it. But I do also like why would she answer whether or not she's coming back? It makes her less valuable.
The marketing wise, I think is absolutely genius, because she is playing the bigger game, and she's even acting like she's breaking kayfabe by saying like, there's some backseat brawl with me and the boss's daughter. Because it sells tickets.
It's everything. Her and McMahon is everything.
Of course they have
it's
faith.
WWE.
And as long as she gets Kurt Angle in her corner, she's okay. Like, this is why I fell off of WWE since I was a kid, because once I realized UFC's a real sport and not entertainment, legally, I'm just saying that's the actual definitions of it, that I like the sport way more. And there's just that amount of entertainment if they choose to profile it. Because
I'll watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Shout out to Lisa Vanderpump.
Why can't I get Netflix hosts of Real Housewives UFC, hosted by Lesbo and The Bean, on Netflix?
I would love that. We've been shouting out to Netflix forever.
At Real Housewives of UFC, you can get Sam Alvey's wife, Contender. She's getting right in there. Who else you got in there? Hopefully Misha, but she wouldn't. She's not a housewife. But she's not. Do they have to be active fighters?
I think you could go Ronda. Ronda's the Lisa Vanderpump
she's not,
of the show.
I don't want that type. She's gonna be horrible to work with in the back.
That is how all of them are. Have you ever watched any of these shows?
No,
that's what's so amazing about it.
I don't know. But I'm pitching it. I don't know it. I know there's magic.
Suck, and some of the ladies are awesome, and then the show somehow rearranges it like maybe they have to hang out once a week. Somewhere they have to get together at one of their houses and put all these scorpions in a bottle and then shake it up and see what happens. And someone cries at every get together.
How many people how many? Is this like a top 8,
Sam
top 10?
Alfie's wife, think about it. She's a professional already at a reality show competition.
Yeah, and her husband has been as well, being on The Ultimate Fighter. They know how to use reality TV to the max. So, obviously, Miss Alvy's getting in there. What other wives are you going to throw in there immediately?
Nina.
Ooh, interesting.
I want to see what's going on with her.
But what if it's not Nina? What if it's...
I want to see both. I want to see inside their house. I think they both can be Real Housewives together.
Yep, that's what I was...
Nina and Amanda. And then also Rocky and Tiny Tornado.
What about... Ooh, no, an active fighter. No, I don't want to put that kind of pressure on active fighters. It's too much. Because I would say Holly, she's a wife. She's a but she's not a housewife.
I didn't know Holly was married.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. She's got a... Yep. What other ladies would you throw in there? Someone's wife that you would think would be... I think...
Interesting. I would like to know what's going on up in Joe Rogan's house.
He specifically keeps it on the limelight.
I know, it's smart.
Fun fighters in there, fun housewives. I want to say, whose wife is cool? Freaking Demetrius Johnson's wife. She's a little firecracker.
She's a little ride or die.
Yep. TJ's girl. She seems legit. Oh, Frankie Edgar's wife. If someone's throwing a heel, Frankie Edgar.
Dan Henderson's wife. Dan Henderson's wife's a ride or die.
You might get some lap dances up in that bitch with Dan Henderson's wife. I love her. I love Dan Hendo's wife. Love Dan Hendo's wife. Yes. I would agree with that.
Interesting.
I would agree with that.
Look at all these ideas.
Woo!
We can start doing this ourselves. Oh, wait.
So, that's what I'm saying. Lesbo and The Bean host. The first ever fighter and the wife.
I don't want to even interview him. I would rather. I don't even want to interview. I don't even need somebody.
Well, we'll do the week. Or the year out when it's the recap show. It'll be hosted by Lesbo and The Bean, but we'll obviously be producers in it.
We'll be the Andy Cohen. So we do the reunion show where they come in and they all sit in and, like MTV Real World where they get in.
I'm okay with Seacrest and myself and Steve Harvey and myself to an extent. As long as to an extent, I guess. I don't know, maybe not that much.
I would like to Howard Stern myself.
Yeah, that's probably better.
Stay on my own, whatever my own thing is.
I agree. Censor myself.
Yeah, I don't want to become too much. But I would be willing to work on not saying fuck if I got paid the right money.
I'd agree with that.
It's
not the worst thing in the world.
I can beep it out later.
Also, as we move along, we are going to end up getting there. Any other hot topics we got? I got all of mine crossed off my mega list. I know there's been a couple more. Ton of hot news. There's been, I know Bellator, a lot of people don't like to talk about, but the Chandler situation is some hot gossip versus the Patrici brothers, the Pitbull brothers. And if you watch the MMA Hour at all, it's definitely really interesting. Bellator is the obvious number 2. And then it falls off far with everybody else in the mix. But Bellator's really cutting out niche market, even though it's the second best. They know kind of what they're doing. And Coker is a genius. That dude is so smart. He calls the MMA Hour regularly. If Dana White called the Ariel Show or anything of that sort, because the only things he does is that Matt Serra, knucklehead and bald, whatever. I don't know what the hell's it called.
Oh.
Balls and knuckles, I don't know.
2 bald guys.
Yeah, I don't know.
Unfiltered. UFC Unfiltered.
Unfiltered. So.
Very original name.
Right, for the most filtered show ever.
Yeah, really. Really good point on that.
So, fun show though that I would really, our announcement talk that I got to go over real quick is Joe Rogan. Who's Joe Rogan's sidekick?
Young Jamie?
No.
Brian
UFC,
Goodman?
The new one, who's Baby Joe Rogan. Because everything's a baby to me these days.
Baby Joe Rogan.
And Anik are the 3 contenders. Jimmy Smith, Joe Rogan, and John Anik are going to be the commentators for UFC 223. It's going to be a hot night of fights. 2 color for me. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I feel like they're very similar in style, so it's interesting that they're putting them together. And it's going to be unique.
I think this is what I think we're going to see happen. Because Joe is losing a little bit of foothold here, and there's a new guy coming in a little bit. I think you're going to see Joe Rogan being the most analytical, showing his knowledge Joe Rogan, where they're sword fighting over. Well, no, actually, I would grab the ankle here, and I wouldn't go the way you're saying. I think you're going to see this, which I think it could be interesting.
I got an MMA conspiracy.
Want to hear it?
Right now,
Love it.
We have, because we were right already with guy who's replacing Joe Rogan, this is the passing of the torch moment. This is saying, here, Grasshopper, you take the stride, you take the sword, you go on, you.
It's a big enough fight for every one of the comments.
And Joe Rogan backs off and lets Jimmy take over to get the sound bites, and then it's just like, remember, Joe always really fell off after that show. He really only came back for X things.
And, the same way how they set up their fighters so that this guy takes this guy's momentum. That's kind
passing the torch, right?
Kind of.
Brilliant.
2, 2, 3 might be like
setting all sorts.
If you haven't checked out Joe's Fight Companion, I enjoy it more than having him ringside. I'd rather have like DC there, but it's. I only really will listen to the Fight Companion at the exact same time as the fights if I don't love the announcers. Like, no offense to Jimmy yet, but he's not one of my favorites. So if it's like Jimmy and John Anik, I would rather listen to the Joe Rogan Fight Companion. But if it's like DC and Anik and like mixed in, then I'd rather listen to DC on the side. I like when there's a little... I wish they'd put Bisping on the side occasionally.
He has been talking...
Who's more colorful than Bisping when you talk about color? You wouldn't need any other color there.
He's come out and said his retirement fight's going to be in Liverpool. Have you been hearing this talk?
I like that.
I like it too, because we've been calling for him to step away for a while.
Is it going to be on the Darren Till card?
Correct.
My guess is...
Co-main event. Has to be.
I wonder if Bisping will be the main. Because of money-wise...
They already said Till's the main.
Oh, so he'd be the but he'd still get paid. He's going to get paid that big money, and it's smart for him to be on the Liverpool card because Darren Till's pulling, and that Wonder Boy.
It's not all on him too. It's not on
Wonder Boy Till. Yeah.
Exactly.
So do you think it'll be Rockhold at 205?
The third one.
That's my favorite fight for him.
That is the favorite fight. But I would also hope that they debut some trash can off the street and Bisping goes out on a highlight. Come on, UFC, give him someone he can beat.
I think Bisping can beat Rockhold.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Well, it already
we
happened.
We bet against it. Yeah. That's fun. That's really interesting. Though I also have to go back into the MMA conspiracy world, and people have been saying, not even a month ago, Stephen Thompson turned down a fight because his hand is still healing from surgery. 2 weeks later, he's able to take it.
You just said that he is always hurt.
So he's somehow going to heal 2 more and then fight Darren Till. Just saying, keep it on the back burner, because even though I don't necessarily like telling that, it's limiting.
You could be really close on this, because if you actually look at it, the Chile fight with Usman Ponzinibbio coming up afterward, those are 2 guys that are going to be in camp and kind of ready to cut just in case something were to happen, and I think they're going to put so much weight into that Liverpool card, they could pull either of those guys over.
I think
you
keep
could
them
be
ready.
onto something. Be aware of it coming up. Or, it's kind of frightening with Wonder Boy if he can only land the kicks.
That's what I'm saying. It could be very limiting, and all of a sudden more of a reason where if a loss comes about, he's like, oh, well, I was injured. Well, we knew, and he'll then cite, remember when I was injured, when I had surgery? We've seen it happen before. Starting to pick up these trends early, so that way we don't put money that we have to wait till fight night to get back due to fights falling out earlier on in the time frame. Any last things?
I know. Let's see.
We are going to come at you Wednesday with the breakdown. I think it is going to make a lot of sense. We're going to only have... Sunday
we're going to do prelims. We're just going to break down the prelims and talk about whatever else happens in UFC.
Yep.
And then that way we can make Wednesday a really special show and not have to rush through. Because that tends to happen. We start at the beginning card and by the end we're all burned out.
Yep.
So this way we can have this whole pop of energy. There's got to be more going on in UFC. We just can't leave on this note yet.
There's always more going on UFC.
I know.
Josh Barnett ended up being cleared by USADA. This is actually a very landmark case. One of the few times that USADA has actually come out and been like, okay, we were wrong. You proved it. It was a tainted supplement. And Barnett's like, okay, live and learn and let's move on. He hasn't booked a fight yet because even though he was acquitted of doing anything wrong and there was never a suspension held out, he didn't fight for a year and a half due to these claims. So it was essentially a suspension. Whether he was found guilty or not, he couldn't fight for a year and a half. He couldn't get paid for a year and a half. Couldn't have sponsors. Couldn't get paid by Reebok. So he hasn't booked a fight, and I don't necessarily know if Josh Barnett will. Why would he want to necessarily get back into such a nasty relationship all of a sudden?
Yeah, with a company that's not treating him great.
Exactly. Unless they wrote him a couple checks in between there. But I'm assuming the way Josh Barnett gets paid, which is up in the 3-figure category per fight, it's going to be a lot of money that they have to be forking over, and they don't tend to do those things.
It's not really worth it with Josh Barnett, no offense.
Unfortunately for him.
You know, this is the other thing, UFC conspiracy. So, Covington RDA, all the talks,
Sure.
is that that's set for an interim title belt.
Yep.
Mark my words. If Darren Till beats Wonderboy, who actually is the #1 contender if you look at the rankings, Wonderboy, but no one wants to see Woodley versus Wonderboy again anytime soon.
Uh-huh.
If Till beats Wonderboy, I guarantee you Till fights Woodley next over that RDA Covington. Even though they're fighting for the interim belt.
I sure hope not, because there's so many other people that are so much more deserving of that position other than Darren Till. It's all hype right now, guys. Again, we made money on Till, but there you got to be hesitant, and there's just he's making a big Twitter stink, and that's it.
We made money on RDA, and we made money on Colby.
You know,
like
we make money moves as what we're known to do.
Division, all our Leslie Smith underdog picks are all the guys we're talking about right now.
Yep. They're all top echelon guys, and that's happening in other weight classes as well. But I do feel like we've been honed in on the welterweight decision for a little while now.
Word on the street is that Joanna is really on weight right now, like really on weight, which is just more proof that. And we called it before the fight, before her and Rose fought.
Lesbo herself called it.
We said that she's going to have a hard weight cut. She's getting too big. And it just shows more and more. I think it's ladies can't help it. I think estrogen just starts flowing through your body at that age, and you start carrying a little curvier. And Joanna was looking like she was getting more booty and more thick legs. Same as Amanda. All them girls, you're like, I ain't touching that territory. I ain't calling them girls thick. And I mean it in a good way.
I would agree. Nothing at all.
It's all for a dream, because I feel like 2018, the beginning of the year, whether Joanna gets her title back or not, it might not be the beginning of the year. They might not get it ready for New York when they hit that big card come December. But it could be ready for like the first big card of next year. We will see Shevchenko, Joanna. And I do think it will be the biggest lady fight. It's a super fight. It could be on the same card with Amanda Cyborg. That's a super fight.
It's tough. We're ride or die Shev fans, but we tend to think that these mega fighters are knockout artists, and Shev's only finished a couple people, one submission.
Neither Joanna, neither of them. I just think they're both
Joanna
amazing.
finishes people. She's finished a few people.
She goes to decision all the time.
Pena. Who else did she knock out?
Esparza. That's it.
Who else has finished Esparza? No one.
She goes to decision though with like Andrade, Claudia Gadelia.
Fucking beasts.
Andrade finished Gadelia.
Yeah.
And Rose isn't a finisher, and she finished a few times. Like, people that usually aren't.
True. I don't know why I'm being a contrarian. I love the fucking bullet.
Shevchenko, she finished, even though it was a submission, no one expected it. And then now, when you look at this weight discrepancy between her and Amanda Nunes of just their natural walking weights, she's not going to have that same KO power. And then you see her in her natural division against 125ers, and everyone's saying, oh, it's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
She shouldn't be ranked against these people. This is unevenly matched. And I'm like, what? These are her only people in her division.
Right.
No one was saying that when Ronda was arm barring.
Yep.
So I feel like we could see a Shevchenko murking spree, because what are these other girls in this division gonna do? She is crazy. And then Joanna coming in at 125 for the first time ever. We see this murker at 115. What happens now when she's at her natural weight? Like, we're seeing the natural weight thing seems to be the better their natural weight classes that aren't such the hard cuts. We're seeing the fighter become better. We're not seeing the juice is worth the squeeze as much with the weight cuts the more we're watching it. So is that true for Joanna? So if she takes her technical punching skill and adds 10 more pounds of power to her weight, all of a sudden she going to be a finisher?
We'll have to wait and see.
Exciting.
We'll have to wait and see.
That's
There's
almost
definitely
a super fight. But Amanda Cyborg would be the other one in the women's that I wouldn't even mind seeing both those in the same card. And I think it would be crazy. I think it would be the first pay-per-view over $1 million in a long time.
for a woman main eventing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, since
agree.
Ronda, and it's really just
Essentially.
Ronda, Connor, and Brock that are breaking those big numbers. Or John Jones. No, John Jones, I think he hit 800,000 his last fight with DC.
Really? Yeah, I think that might be true as well. Something like that. But yeah, big performers, and now with all the belt stripping talk and everything going on, it is a time to be alive in the MMA verse.
We're so excited. So Sunday we'll be bringing you the prelims, and we'll break that down nice and good. And we got that main event Wednesday, which will be so exciting. We'll be popping off. Our theme song will be coming in full. Maybe our old school theme song just for the occasion.
Mixing it up.
Maybe we need a new theme song if we have any fans out there that are good on it. Boom, 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 little keyboard catch. Boom, boom, boom.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, so
That'd
you can
totally
send
be
that
fun.
to us at lesboandthebean@gmail.com. You can subscribe to us everywhere, and if you forget any of that information, you can go to Lesbo and The Bean on Twitter and also follow us. And that's, I don't know. Is there anything else to say?
Thanks for the subscribes and follows, guys. That's for the beat.
So, who has the Leslie Smith underdog pick? Who was the Mexican dude and the lesbian chick? Everybody say you mean Lesbo and The Bean. Who's that out there living they dream? Lesbo and The Bean. Who's that still smoking all the green? Lesbo and The Bean. Come on, y'all, let me hear you scream. Lesbo and The Bean.